Hi friends, today's project is inspired by one of my favorite childhood treats, classic movie theater popcorn. I'm going to show you how to turn paper and dies into this adorable popcorn bucket that's packed with texture, dimension, and just a little bit of sparkle. The layered popcorn spilling out of the bucket makes this design playful and perfect for birthdays or anyone who loves a fun, nostalgic theme. The best part, this card looks detailed, but it's actually really super easy to recreate with a few dies, patterned paper, and some simple layering. Grab your supplies and let's get to crafting. Today's card is inspired by these popcorn bags I found at Dollar Tree. I thought it would be so fun to use the packaging itself as inspiration and turn it into a popcorn-themed birthday card. For my card base, I'm using paper from the scrapbook.com mixed media paper pad, which is an A2 size of 4¼ by 5½ inches. I took some scrap confetti paper from my stash, trimmed it down just slightly to create a small border, and adhered it to my card base using double-sided adhesive. Now we're going to use our popcorn bag. So I'm not going to be using the top portion where it says popcorn. Instead, I'm using the red and white stripe pattern section. I created a simple popcorn bucket template out of a scrap piece of cardstock. Then I went ahead and cut apart the bag, and again I'm only using the red and white striped pattern section. So I'm covering that template with that paper from the popcorn bag using double-sided adhesive and then trimmed off the excess. And now we have our popcorn bucket, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside. Next, we're going to create the label for the front of our bucket. I'm using the scrapbook.com nested stitched oval die set, which comes with 5 pieces. I used 2 dies and layered them together to create a frame that fits the size of the popcorn bucket for my card. Then I ran the smaller of the 2 that I used through the die cutting machine using white cardstock to create the center. So let's go ahead and set that aside for now. For the popcorn pieces, I'm using white cardstock. I didn't have a popcorn die set, so I went through my dies and got a little creative. I found this flower-shaped die that reminded me of popcorn, so I die cut a bunch of pieces using that. You could also use cloud shapes or even freehand cut your popcorn pieces. Just get creative with what you do have. To color the popcorn, I'm using Distress Oxides and Squeeze Lemonade and Mustard Seed, along with Distress Ink and Brushed Corduroy. I start with Squeeze Lemonade, and then build up the color with mustard seed, and finish with a little brushed corduroy to give it that buttery popcorn look. Now that our popcorn pieces are ready, we're going to start forming clusters. So I added double-sided adhesive to the back side of the popcorn bucket and began arranging the popcorn pieces, overlapping them and staggering the heights so some sit higher and some sit lower. This gives the popcorn lots of dimension and makes it look like it's spilling out of the bucket. And here is our popcorn bucket filled to the brim. Next, we'll add our label to the front of the bucket. I'm using liquid adhesive to glue the red oval frame and the white oval together and placing that on the front. For the sentiment, I'm using a stamp from Karen Burniston's Popcorn Phrases set, and the one I chose says, "Hope your birthday is poppin'." But this set is so cute. It has so many, no pun intended, corny phrases on it. I'm stamping that in the center of the oval using VersaFine Clair ink and Nocturne. And I love how the sentiment looks. It looks crisp and clear and perfect on the front of our card. To finish the card, I'm using some leftover scrap pieces that have a carnival or county fair theme to add a little extra interest to the background. So I pop those 2 pieces onto the background, and then for the popcorn bucket itself, I wanted it slightly angled for a more playful look. So I added 1-inch wide 2mm foam tape to the back side of the bucket, removed the backing, and adhered it to the card front. Finally, for a little sparkle, I'm adding iridescent sequins along the edges of the card. And that's it for today's project. I hope you enjoyed creating this fun popcorn bucket card with me. I love how playful and dimensional this design turned out. It's such a perfect card for birthdays or for someone who loves popcorn, like my mom. How cute would it be to pair this card with a little popcorn kit or a movie night gift? If you enjoyed this project and love creative card making ideas like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss my upcoming tutorials. I share new projects that help you use your supplies, your scraps, and get more out of your craft stash. Thank you so much for crafting with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting, friends!